Please video like and subscribe this channel. The first time I saw her, she was stealing food from a garbage container behind Dock Sector 9. Not elegantly. Not like the professional smugglers and street ghosts who knew how to move without being noticed. She was desperate. Thin fingers trembling, silver hair tangled with dust, eyes darting like a hunted animal as she dug through discarded meal packs that even the lowest dock workers had rejected. I almost walked past. Almost. Then she collapsed. The metal container rattled as she slid down beside it, too weak to even finish the theft she had started. I sighed, muttered something under my breath about getting involved again, and stepped toward her. "Hey," I said gently. "You alive?" Her eyes snapped open instantly, bright violet, sharp despite exhaustion. She tried to push herself up, failed, then attempted something that looked halfway between a defensive stance and an apology. "I was not stealing," she whispered in broken trade tongue. "I only, borrowing what no one wanted." "Relax," I said. "If I were security, you'd already be in cuffs." She studied me carefully, as if trying to decide whether I was lying. Finally, the tension in her shoulders dropped just slightly. "You are human," she said. "Yeah." She nodded slowly, almost to herself. "Humans are said to be unpredictable. Depends on the day." I crouched and pulled a sealed ration pack from my satchel, the kind issued to independent transport pilots like me. Not fancy, but better than garbage. "Here," I said, tossing it lightly toward her. "Eat first. Talk later." She caught it awkwardly, staring at the packet as if it might vanish. For a moment she didn't move. Then hunger won. She tore it open and began eating with quiet urgency, not messy, not savage, just someone who hadn't had a proper meal in far too long. I sat on a nearby crate, pretending not to watch. After several minutes, she slowed, breathing steadier now. "You gave this freely?" she asked. "Yeah." "Why?" I shrugged. "Seemed like you needed it." Her gaze lingered on me, puzzled. "On my world, nothing is given without price." "Well," I said, "welcome to a new world." I had no idea then that the meal I just handed her would change the fate of two-star systems. Her name was Lyra. At least, that was the short version she allowed me to use. She claimed she was a traveler whose transport had been lost, though the way she avoided details told me there was more to the story. I didn't press. People running through the outer colonies usually had good reasons. I let her stay in the cargo bay of my ship for a few nights while she recovered. "Just until you find somewhere better," I told her. "You are unusually trusting," she replied. "I'm not trusting," I said. "I'm practical. Someone strong enough to survive the docks alone probably isn't planning to rob me." A faint smile touched her lips. "You are observant." Over the next few days, I learned things about her that didn't quite add up. She spoke at least 6 major trade languages fluently despite claiming to be a simple traveler. Her posture, even when exhausted, carried a strange kind of discipline, like someone trained to be watched. And once, when a drunken dockworker grabbed her arm, she moved so fast I barely saw it, twisting his wrist and dropping him to the ground before he realized what happened. "You said you weren't a fighter," I told her later. "I said I was not a soldier," she replied calmly. "That is not the same thing." I should have realized then that she was hiding something enormous. But I didn't. Not yet. The truth arrived 3 weeks later. We were halfway through a cargo run when 3 black interceptors appeared behind my ship, sleek, military-grade, broadcasting no civilian codes. "Not good," I muttered, fingers flying across the controls. Lyra stepped into the cockpit. "What is happening?" "We're being tailed," I said. "And those aren't pirates." "Pirates like to talk first." Her face went pale, really pale. "They have found me." I turned. "Found you? Who are they?" She hesitated only a moment. My people. A warning tone blared as the interceptors locked targeting range. Your people usually shoot at you like that? I asked. They do, if they believe I have betrayed them. Before I could respond, a transmission cut into the cockpit. Unregistered vessel, a cold voice said, power down and surrender the Valerian royal fugitive aboard your ship. I stared at Lyra. Royal? I asked slowly. She met my eyes, guilt and resignation mixing in her expression. I was going to tell you. Little late now. The transmission continued. Failure to comply will result in immediate destruction. I leaned back in the pilot's chair and exhaled. Okay. So just to confirm, you're not a stranded traveler. You're a hunted alien princess. Former princess, she said quietly. And your government wants you dead. Yes. I glanced at the interceptors on the display, then back at her. Well, I said, powering up the engines, good thing I never liked being told what to do. The ship roared forward into a hard acceleration dive. Behind us, the interceptors opened fire. We survived that chase by inches. Asteroid fields, blind jumps, maneuvering that probably shaved years off my lifespan, but eventually the black ships fell behind. Only then did I finally demand answers. Start talking, I said. Lyra sat across from me in the cargo bay, hands folded in her lap. My world, she began, is ruled by a hereditary line known as the Stellar Throne. I am the last direct heir, and they want to kill you because I refused to approve a planetary cleansing operation. I blinked. A what? A border colony rebelled, she explained quietly. My advisors declared them irredeemable and ordered total eradication. I refused. I helped several thousand civilians escape instead. And for that they branded you a traitor. Yes. I ran a hand through my hair. You know, where I come from, that usually makes you the hero. On my world, she said softly, it makes me an obstacle. Silence settled between us. Finally, she looked up. You should leave me at the next port. Associating with me will only bring danger. I shook my head. Not happening. You do not owe me anything. I smiled slightly. You remember that meal I gave you? Consider this the extended service plan. Her expression softened, but there was sadness in it. Your kindness may cost you your life. Yeah, I said. Wouldn't be the first risky decision I've made. Months passed. Word spread quietly among scattered Valerian citizens that their lost princess was alive. Refugee networks began sending messages, some offering help, some begging her to return. Slowly, something unexpected happened. Support grew. Entire colony sectors, tired of the ruling council's brutality, began declaring loyalty to Lyra instead. Not because she was powerful, but because she had chosen mercy when power demanded cruelty. One evening, while reviewing incoming transmissions, she looked at me with wide eyes. They are organizing, she said. They want me to lead them. I leaned against the console. Sounds like they already decided. I never wanted a throne, she said. Most good leaders don't. She studied me for a long moment. Why do you continue helping me? I thought about it. Because the galaxy has enough rulers who protect power, I said. It could use one who protects people. Something changed in belief. She saw her differently. Not as the starving stranger behind a dock container, but as someone capable of reshaping an entire civilization. The final confrontation came sooner than expected. The Valerian High Fleet, loyal to the ruling council, moved to crush the rebelling colonies before they could unite. Lyra's supporters had ships, but not enough. We cannot win a direct battle, she said, studying the tactical display. Then don't fight it like a battle, I replied. Together, we coordinated a desperate strategy: evacuate civilians first, draw the fleet into divided sectors, force negotiations instead of annihilation. It worked, barely. After 3 brutal days, with multiple systems openly declaring for Lyra, the ruling council finally agreed to talks. And when the final agreement was signed, the impossible happened. The stellar throne was restored not as an absolute monarchy, but as a constitutional leadership chosen by the people. Lyra was crowned queen, not because she demanded it, because millions asked her to. The coronation hall glittered with alien light, thousands of delegates, soldiers, and civilians watching as Lyra stepped forward in ceremonial armor, silver and luminous. I stood near the back, trying very hard to look like I didn't belong there. She spotted me instantly. Of course she did. After the formal vows, she surprised everyone by stepping down from the platform and walking straight across the hall, past nobles, commanders, ambassadors, until she stood in front of me. "You gave me my first meal when I had nothing," she said quietly. I rubbed the back of my neck. "It was just food." "It was hope," she replied. Before I could respond, she took my hand and turned to the crowd. "This human," she announced, "saved my life when my own empire had abandoned me. Today I rule because someone who owed me nothing chose kindness instead of indifference." The hall fell silent. She looked back at me, eyes warm now, no longer uncertain. "One meal saved my life," she said softly. "And destiny made me his queen." I laughed nervously. "That sounds a lot more dramatic than I expected." She smiled. "History often is." And just like that, the starving stranger I had met behind a dock container became the ruler of an empire, while I remained the pilot who had once simply decided to share a meal.